Welcome YouTube. I know it's been a while since I made a video, and fair, I'm just making a video whenever I feel like it, to be honest. But I'm gonna give you how in the world to beat this annoying dude. As you can tell, he's not here because I just beat him. Well, I didn't just beat him, I beat him yesterday and decided to make a video on how to beat him, but either way, I beat him. And I have the event thing here done now. This thing, defeat the mighty lightcrusher. Cannot say it correctly. And here's the team I use. You would think Encore did most of the damage here, but here's the funny thing. It wasn't Encore that did most of the damage. It was Talchi. And I'm not exaggerating here. She actually did most of the damage. Because Encore just got one shot. So I couldn't really use Encore unless it was a quick switch. Where Talchi survived maybe 2 hits, maybe 3. So in other words, if you don't know how to dodge and parry, you're pretty much dead with this boss. Have fun. unless you're really high level. And I have Rena for just basic support. I would usually use Rover Spectro. But the thing is, with Rover Spectro, yeah, she doesn't heal enough for a boss like this, so I actually have to use somebody like Verino for this. Because one attack does legit 7,000 to Talchi almost. The only reason why she could survive 3 hits is because of her shield that she could generate. And you may be thinking, why do we just use Jinxon? Jinxon's a better tank overall. Because she could generate shield and do high damage. Yeah, well, Jinxon is good. Don't get me wrong, Jinxon is good. Way better than Talchi. But because it's based off attack, Jinxon gets one shot. So she's good to generate a quick shield, but not good for tanking. And I needed someone to tank for the boss battle. So I suggest Talchi. Because Talchi is based off defense and not as much attack. That's personal opinion though. If my Encore got one shot, but if you have a character that doesn't get one shot, that's a DPS, I highly suggest you use it, and it's switch to the tank whenever they get low, or support. Mainly a tank though. Mainly a tank like Talchi. If you have a tank like Talchi, she could take a few hits, and you could just dodge and parry. And she could survive pretty well because of her healing skill as well. And you can just have Verena over time heal your character. Again, it's not going to be a short process. The fight's going to probably take you 10 minutes. This is how I beat it anyway. This is the exact team I use. I'll even show you the items I used. And you're going to want revival items. I ended up not using any. But you're going to want revival items. Higher the rarity isn't really needed because you'll just one-shot you anyway. So even the basic ones are good enough. Because he'll just one-shot you anyway no matter what rarity you have. Unless you have the legendary, of course. But I highly doubt you have that. I mean, if you do good, you can use it, but it's not really worth it. But I use Starflakes and this. It gives attack and crit rate, which is, won't lie, really useful. That crit rate is really useful. I would use the legendary food, but I didn't have any at the time, so I just said screw it. I would also use a resistance spray, but for Spectro. That's what I used. because the enemy, I'm pretty sure, is a spectral enemy. So you're going to want a spectral resistance spray just to make it so you take a little less damage. By the way, all this, Starflakes with the resistance spray, Tachi still got 2 shots, so keep that in mind. It's a very strong boss. So without this, Tachi would get 1 shot. So you kind of need these. Starflakes are higher. You kind of need. If you have something to make it so you have stamina, like quick stamina. Like let's say you run outside my middle battle, you can quickly go to the backpack and get stamina. You're going to need that because you have to dodge the boss a lot. So you're going to need that as well. Depending on the characters you use, it doesn't hurt to use these because it does increase your damage a little. But I never used any characters with this besides from Verena. I'm not going to be giving a Verena extra damage. That's kind of dumb. So yeah. I would if it was a straight up attack, but because it's spectral, it doesn't apply to her healing. And I don't know if people know this or not, but at least it says anyway. It's based off her attack. It's based off her attack. So, keep that in mind. Baiji might be better for this fight for that one reason. Because Baiji will be able to take more hits. Because Baiji's based off HP, so she could take more hits than Verena could. But Verena heals more. That's the reason why I went with Verena, because she heals more. But Baiji would also work, maybe even better. Because you could just, I guess you can tell I don't really have Baiji built at the moment. I used to, but I unequipped her stuff. Because give her this to absorb some damage and have the other thing heal. Should be fine. It would work. And depending on the person you use, you're going to want obviously weapons that suit them. For Tao Chi, if you have this thing, I highly suggest it. Because that 50% defense buff is really useful for this character. Like, really useful. Like, that gives like 1,000 defense, kind of useful. So, it's really useful. And you don't have to worry about having to have maxed out echoes. They're not maxed out. You don't need to have heavily good stuff. Just good enough so you don't get one shot by that thing, and so you can recover if you get hit. So you don't need like really heavy level stuff. The only one that's actually maxed out here is Encore, but Encore's defense is so bad she just gets one shot, so it doesn't even really matter. I'm surprised Verena can survive, because Verena has less defense. Verena can survive 2 hits. I guess it's just because of her pure HP pool here. Like, she has more HP than even Tao Chi here. So I'm guessing that's the reason she could survive 2 hits. But either way, if you have a DPS that doesn't immediately die, I highly suggest you use that. And yeah, these two. Of course, if you don't have those characters, like I said earlier, you can use Baiji. Sasha's are pretty good for a damage application. And her would be good if you don't have any 5 stars yet. Well, I highly doubt you won't have any 5 stars, but let's say you're doing a no 5-star challenge or something. You can just use those characters, and they will work pretty well. Because, I'm not even bother saying that name. She's a DPS. Sasha has a damage application, so it increases the damage. And Baiji is a healer, so it's a spell balanced. So that would also work. You could also use these characters. I think he's not actually that bad. He's pretty good, I think. But that depends on, obviously, who you like using. This is the team I used to beat it. And I was able to beat it. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't super easy, but I was able to beat it. And warning ahead of time for when you do fight it. This thing has hell and a half attack patterns. Like, the 1 second it's doing a normal claw attack, the next second it's doing 10 projectiles. It's not fun. It has a very annoying attack pattern. It's not fun. It's dodgeable, just annoying. And it runs away. It goes like this all across the area too. It's so annoying. It runs away half the time. It does range attacks, and it just does a jump attack and tries to claw at you. It's annoying. You're going to want a ranged character to fight it. I tried to use Encore, and Encore was barely able to reach it half the time. And Encore is partly a ranged character. Sure, partly a ranged character. So you're going to want a ranged character, like Chica, or I ain't gonna even go say their name. Cause I know I'm missing it. The person with the gun. Her. You're gonna want her because she uses guns. It's just a little easier to actually damage him because Encore was able to do squat because he kept on moving away. It was really annoying. But that's the best advice I could give to fight this thing. Most of actually fighting it comes off skill with dodging and parrying and other stuff. So that's the best advice I could give you. So if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. And I hope you have a good day.